What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla SPY, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down NIO's deliveries numbers and why NIO absolutely crushed it as they're looking at new highs. This is the second highest amount of deliveries for all time for just a month. And then also, it's the highest they've seen in one single quarter, which is absolutely incredible. So I'm going to go over all these numbers and talk about what's happening with the broader markets. Please note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. And put in $25,000 more, and you're guaranteed 75 of them. The offer ends very soon, in just 4 weeks. Anyways, for NIO, we're holding up very well, just above our 20 EMA. We're trying to rebound off this. We have an imbalance to fill above, and this still is doing a great job. NIO is holding up very well relative to the markets. The market saw a sell-off due to some uncertainties involving wars, and also because of a lot of strikes that are going on, which is once again possibly affecting supply chains. So I'll be talking more about the overall market in just a couple of minutes. I first want to talk about NIO. NIO saw the second highest amount of deliveries in their history in a single month. They delivered 21,181 vehicles in September. Absolutely incredible. This is an increase of 35.4% year over year. So the numbers are right here. And by the way, I will be going over these numbers in just like a minute. I first want to go over these right here. That's not bad. We had 832 of their deliveries come from the Envo, their new sub brand. So very cool stuff. And then on top of this, we also have about 61,855 vehicles delivered in the third quarter of 2024. That's a new record and an 11.6% growth year over year. So they absolutely crushed it. In total, as of September 30th, 2024, we have about 598,875, just under 600,000 deliveries in total. Absolutely incredible news. Now let's go over these numbers right here. So I zoomed into this right here. I'm going to show you guys what this is telling us right here. So what's happening is this is the ES8s. They're starting their deliveries. Awesome news for them. They delivered 21,000 vehicles once again in September. Great news. And on top of this, you guys can see this is the fifth month in a row where they did over 20,000 deliveries. So very, very awesome stuff for NIO. The Envo L60 has started their deliveries, and they're expected to accelerate deliveries in October. So this is the very important chart I wanted to go over. So right here, you guys can see that the monthly deliveries for 2023 are in light blue, and the darker bars you see are for 2024. Well, notice this, okay? In June 2023, we did 10,000. 2024 for June, we did 21,000. So it's a great amount of growth. Look at July, the numbers are about the same, 20,000 for each. August, we did 19,000 deliveries, 2023. For 2024, we did over 20,000. So a nice growth in August. For September last year, we did 15,641 deliveries. This year, we did 21,000. So absolutely killing it, breaking those records. And this is the highest amount of deliveries we've ever seen in a single quarter. This is also the second highest amount of deliveries in their history since June of 2024. So that being said, great numbers from NIO. That's why the share price is holding up very nicely, holding its support and attempting to rebound. If we hold above 7, we're going to retest 7 tomorrow. If we hold it, we could be looking for a push for 7.4. If we lose it, we could be dipping back down to about 6.5. Overall, we're holding up nicely, so I hope this continues. For the whole market, I just want to say that for Wednesday, October 2nd, there's not really much data coming out. We just have a couple of Fed speakers, so it's very minor. But there are some things I want to talk about. The market is less greedy than before. We're now getting closer to the midpoint between being extremely greedy and neutral, so just greed right here. We're also seeing a little bit of a shift in momentum. We're just at greed is slowing down as well. And then the puts and call option ratio is beginning to shift. We're still at extremes. We'll see if the puts start to go up in the overall ratio, which would cause the overall this to start going up. So we'll see if that ends up being the case, as there's some fear building and the VIX is starting to spike right now. So what's happening? There's been a big attack on Israel. This is not starting anything. It wasn't like this started the way this was moving. I'm trying to say that the start of this goes back hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. This is just a continuation of what has been happening. But as a result, we'll have to see what happens. So Iran has, as a result of so much stuff in the past for hundreds, if not thousands of years, Iran has basically launched a missile attack on Israel. Very, very sad to hear that. And then we're going to see if Israel responds. Iran is saying that they're done unless Israel responds. So you can't just, do this and expect no action. There's a very, very good chance Israel might retaliate. We'll see. I just want to say that I really hope for peace. I'm not going to pick any sides. I just want to say I want peace. But continuing launches like this are not great. The market obviously did not like that, and that's something else that's very important. So I hope for peace that we don't want to see this happen, or else this could affect crude oil, and be very mindful of that. On top of this, there's a historical strike going on in the US at US ports, and the impact on supply chains could be big. So there's a lot of dock workers' strikes at seaports in the US East and Gulf coasts. And that's wreaking havoc on supply chains. Ocean supply chains have already taken a hit, especially after what happened in the Red Sea. And now there's could be even more stuff happening here in the US. So just wanted to call that out. We'll see how negotiations go. NIO has an overweight rating from JP Morgan. Morgan Stanley also expects $8. The price risk ratio is going up as NIO is building some strength. On top of this, we also tend to see green about 55% of the time on Wednesdays historically. So the majority of the time we are green. We tend to be green more often than not, especially around 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time during the final hour. So watch and see how things end up going. Volume is high at 145 million. As long as we maintain that, we could continue what we're doing. And the short volume is kind of flat, not really doing a whole lot. So what do I see for the share price? If NIO starts dipping, look at 7 as our main support. If 7 fails us, we're looking for the support zone around the 6.7 area, followed by 6.5. If that breaks, we're dipping all the way down to 5.95. If we hold support, we could try to rebound. We're looking for this imbalance above to fill towards the 7.42 area. If we break out, we're looking for basically 7.5 to be our target. My gut's telling me this is going to hold up as we outperform the market so far, and NIO might be looking for 7.5 very soon. For other factors out there, we also have SPY. Now, this is looking pretty weak so far, especially with all the conflicts. Iran is saying that they're done with their attacks unless Israel retaliates. Israel may try to do that because, once again, they've been attacked and for other different reasons out there. So I'm just trying to say, guys, I'm not starting the history lesson. I'm not saying anything started with what's being reported today. This history goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years. So it's not my job to give you guys that lesson. If you want more information about that, you could look it up yourselves. But I just want to say that the situation is still very tense. That's why you want to be very open minded to that. And then the situation with the strikes is also very intense at the ports. So this could lead to downside. SPY has 567.5, excuse me, as our support. If that fails us, I see this dipping all the way down to about 565 potentially. If that fails us, we're looking for 563. If we manage to hold 567.5, we could try to rebound for 570, but I'm just trying to say the chart looks kind of weak right here. If yours, it might rebound a bit, shuffle, and maybe start dipping lower towards the lower 560s. So it still looks more bearish to me. For ES, we're losing our key supports, especially at the 50 EMA. This looks more bearish. We need to hold above 57.69 to remain back up. Otherwise, we're at risk of dipping all the way down to the next support, which is around the 57.35 area. We also have an imbalance down here at 5,700 flat, so I anticipate some more downside as a stronger possibility. For Nvda is looking a little bit weak here. If we can't hold above 116, we're at risk of coming down to fill the gap in the 114s, not to mention the 112s. We also have this resistance to watch for around this 116 area, not to mention 118. So my gut tells me that this might dip a little bit more to fill this gap, and 114 looks very, very possible. For Bitcoin, we look more bearish. We have this resistance to watch for around the 61,735 area. And our support to watch for is at 60,000. If that breaks, we're looking for a big dump all the way down to 59,268. So we could be tipping even lower. I think there's a good chance we continue to fall. So watch for this very carefully on Bitcoin. I think there's a good chance that this may dip lower. Tesla has deliveries tomorrow. We'll see if Tesla gets a big bounce or not. Tesla will likely try to push higher or push lower during the pre-market when the data comes out. So the data is scheduled to come out 30 minutes before market open tomorrow. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Sometimes they're a little bit late, but it's okay, guys. It will be coming out tomorrow most likely, and Tesla will either open, if it comes out during the pre-market, we will open either at 270 in the 270s, or we could be opening up in the 240s all the way down here. We'll see what Tesla does depending on deliveries. For NQ, we're looking bearish right now. We have 20,000 as resistance. Our main support to watch for is at 19,800. We're at risk of coming down off this head and shoulders. So it still looks bearish, especially as we have this gap to fill. We could rebound. If we reclaim 20,000, we could turn back up, but I don't think that's very probable. We look more bearish. The QQQ looks more bearish. We have a head and shoulders as well. We got to reclaim 482. If we can't do that, we could be coming down to fill the gap at 475. For Aapl, we look a little bit more bearish as well. We are continuing to fall right here. We got this big rejection on Aapl. If we can't reclaim 226, we're likely going to be dipping all the way down to about 222 to fill this gap. So it still looks more bearish. For others out there, we have the IWM. It looks bearish. We need to reclaim 219 to turn back up. Otherwise, we're at risk of 214, then 212 to fill that gap. Still looks more bearish to me. Coinbase is dipping right now. We got to reclaim basically this to 165 area. If we can't reclaim the red risk of dipping all the way down to about 156. Amazon looks more bearish as well. We have 188 as resistance and 182 as our support. If 182 fails us, we're likely dipping all the way down to about 180. So I think 182 and then 180 are likely coming. For Meta, Meta has a bearish divergence that's forming, but we're holding up very well despite that. So we haven't lost critical support on Meta. It's outperforming the market. If it loses 569 tomorrow, look for a dump to 557. As long as it holds above that, it's still technically fair. So that wants to get close to 580. So it might try to do this and shuffle for now. It's a very, very tough resistance. So it might pop and shuffle, and we'll see if we get a rejection or not. But so far, it's holding up in a range. On the other hand, Microsoft looks more bearish. We need to reclaim 424 to turn back up. If it doesn't do so, we're likely coming all the way down. If 420 fails, also, we're going to be coming all the way down to about 414. It looks more bearish so far. Google's kind of flat, a little bit more bearish looking, might be dipping to about 165.8 for now, but it's not that bad. It's not that weak. So we'll see how things go. The market's looking a little bit more bearish amidst all the fears because of the strikes that are going on and also because of the wars around the world. So that may lead to some weakness for the broader markets. Tesla has deliveries tomorrow, and after NIO's deliveries were quite good, we're hoping to see if NIO could continue to push all the way up towards the 7.4 area. So far, so good. So let's hope for a continuation. And NIO is looking bullish so far. As long as we don't lose 7 and then 6.5, we favor the upside. As long as that range does not break, we favor the upwards direction. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully this video was informative. I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow for another update. Until then, get ready for more volatility tomorrow, and peace out.